Hey guys, Dissection of Violence here. We have a another UFC card in Louisville, Kentucky. Should be an interesting one. Let's get right into it. So to start the card, we have UFC newcomer Puja Tomar versus Ryane Amanda. Ryane Amanda, she's all right. She's got okay grappling. Okay, experience. I think she comes to scrap, decent cardio. The thing about Amanda is she's not that great. But I don't think you need to be that great to beat, Indian MMA. Indian MMA on the rare occasion is ever a idea to bet. So, when in doubt, fade India. Pooja Tamar has, had an interesting career. If you just see here, she has faced Stamp Fairtex, Binu again. She lost to Binu again, and then she beat her. So I don't really know what to make of that. Uh, she's coming off a corner stoppage over an 8-2 girl, so it's like I don't really know what to make of this. Matrix Fight Night is a league I believe in India or a league for Indian fighters. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Amanda here getting a submission or decision, but honestly, with women's MMA at chalk, you definitely don't want to play this fight. It's a big liability. If you want to bet this fight, um, obviously I'm gonna be fading India, going Ryan Amanda here, but it's not enough for me to make a play. So I'm gonna go with oh, yeah, I'm yelling like crazy. I'm gonna go with Ryan Amanda here by I'm gonna go decision because I think Puja will survive to a decision. But who knows? Yeah. Honestly, this fight could go a number of ways, but I just can't see India, doing well in this fight. Other than the fact that women's MMA gets a little bit funky sometimes, and she could win positionally, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Ryan Amanda here, probably the safer spot. Moving on, we have Cody Stamann here versus Taylor Lapilus. Lapilus is a very experienced fighter, just like Stamen. I feel like he's faced wrestlers and guys like Stamen before, better wrestlers like Fareed Basharat. He stuffed his takedowns. Um, Demarte Pena, he finished him. Nate Manez, he finished him. He has a win over Josh Hill. He has good wins in his career. I gotta go with Taylor Lapilus here by decision. I just feel like his striking is gonna be the more meaningful moments of the fight, and I feel like he's going to cruise his way to a decision, either 29-28 or 30-27. I just don't rate Cody Stamann. Unfortunately, I think he is a bit, I would say one-dimensional, but his boxing's okay. I'd say he's just serviceable at best, and I think he'll beat the other mid guys, but I feel like Lapis is right there to be at that next level. And I just feel like Lapis is going to be a little too good for him on the feet, and I feel like Lapis is going to win this fight by decision. So, not much to say about this one. I feel like it's pretty straightforward. Lapis obviously could KO him, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Cody Stamann's pretty tough, wears shots pretty well. And I don't think Lapis has the ability to get a submission, so I'm gonna go with Taylor Lapis here, getting a decision win, just outlanding Saman. Moving on, we got Eduardo Moura versus Denise Gomes. So Denise Gomes is an interesting cat because she has competed in grappling tournaments and done the work, training hard. Her girl Carol Rosa probably trains her hard in grappling as well. She's KO'd girls like Yasmin Urague, Bruna Brazil. She has very devastating power. She beat Ryan Amanda, who's fighting on the card tonight. Um, the thing about this is, I don't think Denise Gomez. I don't know if she's gonna be able to handle the grappling of Moura. I feel like if Angela Hill can out grapple her, I feel like Moura should be able to. It's a stylistic nightmare. Um, so my pick will be Moura, but Gomez, man, she is very dangerous, and I can easily see this fight going like I could see this fight going the distance. So damage versus control. Obviously, the control is going to be in Mora's factor. I just feel like this is going to be a close fight, and I don't want anything to do with it. So, big litmus test for Mora. I can't remember where she got the finish her last fight. It was against Ruiz, ground and pound. Yeah, honestly I don't know how about this one. I'm gonna go with Mora here, but honestly I could see Denise Gomez clipping Mora. I could see Denise Gomez making this a close fight going to the scorecards. So yeah, I wouldn't play this fight personally. It's a pretty volatile fight. If you guys want to play it, go right ahead, but just keep in mind that Eduardo Mora is unproven, and Denise Gomez's grappling is horrendous. Like not horrendous, sorry. It's just not great, and it's not at the level it needs to beat some of these girls. And I just feel like Mora is going to be able to dictate when this fight takes place. I feel like Denise Gomez has brick hips, and although she does try to work her way up, it's not takes her a little bit to do that. So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Mora here. Moving on, we got Daniel Marcos versus John Castaneda. It's pretty straightforward for me. I got Daniel Marcos here. Um, but it is a close fight. The reason why I have Marcos here, I am back and forth. I've already lost money on this fight, and it hasn't even happened yet. This is why you guys got to be careful when you're making bets. Really be sure before you make the bet. I couldn't decide. This fight has like numbers. The odds have been moving all over the place. Castaneda was a favorite. Now Marcos is back to the favorite. I just think Marcos is going to be the cleaner striker on the feet. I feel like he is, unlike the other Peruvians with terrible grappling. I feel like, although his grappling isn't amazing, I feel like his takedown defense, similar to Izzy, is going to be good enough to defend John Castaneda. And I feel like struggling in his last fight, Castaneda against who was it? It was someone I don't rate. Hyung Ho Kang. He made it relatively close, and Muang Gafurov I do not rate at all. So I think Marcos is going to find success with the striking, find potentially a TKO, and find a decision win, in my opinion. Just because I do think Castaneda is tough, trains at a gym with a lot of fighters like Marcos at Factory X. I feel like John Castaneda is a problem. The fact that he's going to come at him with a different look. He mixes in the grappling as well. So I do think this is a big test for Daniel Marcos, but I'm gonna go with Marcos to win this fight by decision. I feel like he's gonna be able to take the test of Castaneda and run with it. I don't rate um, I don't rate Castaneda his ceiling at a high. Marcos is still unknown, so obviously this is a close fight because Marcos was still an unknown. But I feel like Marcos is going to have a higher ceiling, and this is either going to be a really close fight or Marcos is just going to cruise. So I'm gonna side with Marcos here, and yeah, I wouldn't get too married to this position. I have already tried to get out of it, so it is what it is here. I might just go full out Marcos just because, but we'll see. I'd rather just no position at all. Moving on, we have uh Andrea Lee versus Montana De La Rosa. Um, I don't know what you want me to say with this one, man. Like sorry guys. I hate alarms. What the heck? Ooh, what the heck? God. Why isn't it doing that? Man, I'm so jeez. Man, what the hell? Damn, sorry guys. This doesn't usually happen. What the hell? It's not even. Yeah, it's weird. That's weird. Alrighty. Anyways, guys, moving on. We have Andrea Lee versus Montana De La Rosa. Montana De La Rosa is honestly, this is a. I'm not gonna go into too long with this fight. This is a pretty mid fight. Both of them are pretty mid. Andrea Lee has more to lose. If she loses this fight, she's gonna get cut. Montana loses this fight, she might stick around for a fight. I'm gonna go Lee. I'm gonna go Lee here. I feel like she's gonna be more physical. It's gonna be close, obviously. I rate Lee's jiu-jitsu more. I rate the corner work of Lee more. But it's a close fight, man. I honestly want nothing to do with this fight. But I lean Lee. Uh, yeah. If you guys want to bet this fight, go ahead. I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. You guys already had to sit there listening to me deal with an alarm, so I'm gonna go Andrea Lee for the channel purposes. But I have no interest in this fight whatsoever, and I don't even want to give this fight a full minute. So reset that and moving on. We got Brad Katona versus Jesse Butler. Oh my goodness. So if Brad Katona loses this fight, I don't feel like he should be in the UFC. But also Jesse Butler, I feel like he just had a rough debut because he hasn't really had like that bad of a loss. Like he has, if you look at his career, Colin Wright, no. Michael McDonald, no. Other than that, he beat Dimitri Ivy, who I rate very highly by submission. He beat Mastio Fulton by punches, who's a, journeyman, but he is at least, consistently a journeyman. And then we have Luis Luna, who's a journeyman. So it's like I feel like he has beat guys similar to Katona who are journeymen, but Katona's just a level above these guys. So it's like I do think Katona wins this fight. I'm sold on Katona winning this fight. Am I betting Katona at negative 600? Hell no. Because Katona is, after that last fight, I just want nothing to do with him from a betting perspective. He frustrated the daylights out of me. He couldn't win at home. For some reason, he just didn't look good at all. And I remember seeing him in the Cody Gibson fight, thinking, man, this guy's freaking good. And then now watching Cody Gibson, it's like, oh man, Cody Gibson's not good. So it's like maybe it's just Brad Katona got exposed, and I just didn't see it until it was too late. So yeah, I'm definitely on Brad Katona here, but I hate the price, and I'm almost inclined to make a sprinkle on Jesse Butler because how wrong could I be for that fat price? So yeah, guys, definitely a pass spot for me for now, but we'll see. Hopefully the number keeps rising, and we'll get a an underdog spot, but the number is not bad as it is, so definitely keep that in mind as you're going through the week, as if you're trying to make some quick risk-free money. This isn't really a risk, a nice little sprinkle get you plus 400 at least, so you know definitely worth a shot in this fight. I don't think Bracatona is going to make this as dominant as it should be, and if he does, then kudos to him, but he's in a must-win fight, and I don't know how I don't know how I feel about this one. But yeah, moving on. We have Charles Radtke versus Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates is by far one of the most scariest guys in the welterweight division. He is terrifying on the feet, nasty, exact like Mr. Exacto with limbs, with his range, his reach. Absolutely terrifying KO artist. Very, very good. Guy's a bit hittable, which is going to be a problem against Charles Radtke, who has a really educated boxing. Unless he's fighting Blood Diamond, then he looks like an idiot. But other than that fight, I think Charles Radtke has what it takes to make this fight close. I'm going to go with Carlos Prates here, winning this fight by either KO or UD. But honestly, if this actually goes to a decision, I could see split territory, but I just think Prates is going to be too clean on the feet, too dangerous on the feet, too long on the feet, and I just think Prates is going to find the chin at some point. So I'm gonna go Prates KO here, but honestly, I could see some funk with this fight. So I am just gonna watch with my popcorn and enjoy this one because Radtke's a very skilled grappler, or not like super skilled, but he's a good grappler. And then his boxing's pretty educated. He has a nasty left hook. Prates can be very hittable. He was getting pieced up by Giles briefly before he got the KO. So definitely more of a watch fight for me. I just want to see how Prates does at this. This is a hard opponent, and I just want to see how Radtke does at this level of opponent. So wouldn't want to put too much invested in this fight. But yeah, man, I got Prates here. He's a demon, and he seems to find shots really well. And I think Radke's gonna be at a reach disadvantage here, and I don't like reach disadvantages when you're fighting guys like Prates. I think Prates is gonna find the shots. So moving on though, yeah, we got Ludovic Klein taking on Thiago Moises. Okay, Thiago Moises. I love Thiago Moises. He's a great fighter and all, but I just got to go with Klein here. He's looked great in his recent showings. He's in my opinion, better striker. Moises obviously is at a great gym and American top team, but he needs, to keep everything pretty. And I think Ludovic Klein could just mix in the combinations better than Moises, where he's gonna, pick and move, pick and move. I think Klein's gonna, land the more volume. I feel like Klein's gonna, defend the takedowns, nullify it with his grappling. I think Klein is experienced enough to where, he's faced guys like Herbert, who's a, rangy striker. I feel like he's faced different bodies. This is in my opinion, another show me spot for Klein. That's the only reason I haven't, put more on this. But I do think Klein is the side. I think Klein has more to prove, has, you know, less. He got beat up by Joel Alvarez, and I think Joel Alvarez is not much better, if not worse than Ludovic Klein. So I think Klein is gonna find the striking success here, and I feel like he's going to either cruise to a decision or maybe even get a TKO win. I think Klein wins this fight. I feel like his anti wrestling is going to be come in handy here with Thiago, who's offensive wrestling is all right. His American top team wrestling, it's obviously going to be pretty good, but it's not at the level where it's going to cause too many problems for Klein. If Klein gets taken down, this could get pretty hairy because Klein off his back isn't amazing. So and Moises is a black belt, so you do got to keep that in mind with this fight. But I do think Klein is going to be on a confidence high after his recent showings, and I think he's going to come into this one banging, firing on all cylinders. Got to go with Ludovic Klein here, and I had him winning his fight by decision. Moving on, we got Punale Soriano versus Miguel Baeza. Now, I know everyone with this fight is passing, and I get it. And I'm one of those people. I don't like this fight at all from a betting perspective. I think Baeza is a liability with his chin. The layoff, he's been off for too long, in my opinion, where it's like, I can't trust you. He's got the skill set to beat Puna. He's got better jiu-jitsu by far. He's got okay wrestling. I don't think it's going to be good enough to take down Puna, especially early. So Puna by KO is probably a very big possibilities. I'm gonna go with Baeza just off the skill difference, but honestly, this is a skip spot. Puna coming down a weight class, going to 170. I want nothing to do with this. Baeza, it's not exactly a small 170 pounder. I gotta go with Baeza here, finding a submission. Um, but yeah, this is a big pass spot for me. I think Baeza has a lot of red flags, so does Puna. So can't be betting on either guys, and yeah, man, this is a big spot for both guys. Puna loses this fight, he's walking either getting gonna get cut or his next fight's gonna get cut or bust, you know, and then we have Miguel Baeza who's coming off KO losses to guys who one isn't I don't even think in the UFC anymore. I don't think. I'm pretty sure at least. I could be wrong about that one. Yeah, he got KO'd by Andre Fiallo, who's not even in the UFC anymore. The only thing he's, got going for him as of late is his grappling. So it's like I honestly, and that's where Puna has had issues is his jiu-jitsu. His wrestling is okay. It's not great, but it's okay. And I feel like that's going to be his strength here is defending the takedowns against a taller, rangy Baeza. But yeah, this is a big pass spot for me, and I'm interested to see how it plays out. But yeah, moving on. We have Julian Marquez versus Zach Reese. Honestly, this fight's another pass spot. At plus 160, Julian Marquez was very enticing. I think Zach Reese is definitely not deserving to be a big favorite against really anybody at this weight class in the UFC, just based off of his performances. He hasn't shown anything yet. He's shown some decent jiu-jitsu against Aronov, but Aronov's Aronov, so it's I can't really take too much from that. Um, he's had some success on the feet. He trains at a decent gym, War Training Room, in Houston. I think it's Houston, Texas, or Texas. He's beat guys like Aaron Phillips, who's terrible on the ground. So it's like I can't really get a good gauge on this. I think Marquez is decent on the ground, facing someone similar, losing to someone from that camp already. Julian Marquez probably has some inside knowledge on how this guy fights. How they prepared for him. I think Marquez is a side. I think Marquez is gonna win, but I'm not gonna go out and say this is a confident prediction. This is a lean. I just going off of durability, going off of experience in the UFC, going off of like I don't know, heart. Marquez is not great. He's Homer Simpson, but he's shown more, in my opinion, than Zach Reese has. So gonna be a pass spot for me, but I might just free roll this fight, honestly. But I think Marquez is the side. So if you guys are betting this fight, I would bet this fight to either not go the distance or hmm, yeah, I don't know. This is a weird one. It's a weird fight. Play careful with this one, and yeah, I'm gonna lean Julian Marquez here, and I'm gonna lean him by decision, but it's close. Moving on, we have Bruno for not decision. When I say that, I'm gonna go second round, or third round TKO. Moving on, we have Bruno Ferreira versus Dustin Stoltzfus. Okay, so we have Dustin Stoltzfus, who's a good grappler. Trains with Strickland. You know, typical. Wrestler from America. You know, decent, decent wrestling, grappling. He beat Puna, gassed him out, showed some decent striking on the feet. But his striking is still a lot to be desired. He got, submitted by Rodolfo Vieira and Gerald Mearshart, two black belts. He got out grappled by Kyle Dawkins. I think Stoltzfus has a lot of. I think he can out grapple his way to a win for sure, especially if Ferreira blows his wad early. But I think Ferreira, the thing with Ferreira is he moves a lot. And if you're gonna beat Ferreira, you're gonna have to like have something to make him pay on his movements and on his blitzes. And I don't think Stoltzfus is gonna cause him much problems. I feel like he's gonna be slow, and I feel like Ferreira is gonna catch him. Um, and if Ferreira doesn't gas out, I see him winning a decision or KO. I'm gonna go Ferreira by KO rounds one or two, but I can also see him winning a decision too. So definitely a interesting fight because value says Stoltzfus, but Stoltzfus, he's only had really one decent showing in his whole UFC career, and that was his last one. And Soriano's now at 170, so it's like I don't know, was Soriano always a 185 pounder, or was he just a little, he didn't want to cut that extra weight? I don't know. So it's like I'm gonna think Soriano is a good, relatively good matchup, like a good next previous fight for Bruno Ferreira, other than the movement. They both hit hard, but I just think Ferreira's movement's going to be key here, and it's going to be hard to track him down. So I'm going to go Bruno Ferreira here, finding the KO rounds one or two. But yeah, guys, I wouldn't be too big to play. I wouldn't jump on this too big. This is a weird spot. Moving on. We got Raul Rosas Jr. versus Ricky Turcios. Another fight where it's like I see Raul Rosas Jr. having success, but at the price, I definitely wouldn't play that. I think Turcios is a live dog. I feel like he does more things crowd judges friendly. He'll showboat. He'll throw things out there, volume, whether it's hitting you or not. He's making noises. He's doing gestures. I just think the guy knows how to win and win decisions even when they're not exactly the most, clean. I think Ricky Turcios is definitely a live dog. It's a pass spot for me. It's going to be a lot of grappling here. I don't think Rosas Jr. His jiu-jitsu. I don't think can he push three hard rounds? We'll find out. I mean, Rodriguez is a hard guy to hold down, so I don't want to say, oh, Raul Rosas Jr. gassed out with him. That means he's going to gas out with Ricky Turcios. Ricky Turcios is a little bit of a different animal. Obviously, Ricky Turcios has experience, faced some decent grapplers, but I don't, Brady Heisted's someone who's Raul Rosas is trained with. So I can see people see that as, oh, Brady Heisted, that's good experience for Turcios. I see that as Turcios or as Heisted giving a good advice to Rosas Jr. on things he made mistakes on things he can that he should have done. So honestly, I gotta go with Raul Rosas Jr. here, but Ricky Turcios definitely a live dog. So if you notice any heavy breathing from Rosas Jr. after round one, definitely play Ricky Turcios because he will fight for your money, especially if he knows the guy's tired or hurt, because you know he's all about the theatrics of it. So we'll see how it plays out, but I gotta go with my guy Raul Rosas Jr. here. But yeah. Gotta move on from this one. Moving on, we got Dominic Reyes versus Dustin Jacoby. Dustin Jacoby, honestly, I I want to say he's a lock because Reyes, you know, he hasn't done anything to deserve trust. He's got KO'd by a jab by Ryan Spann. He's gotten KO'd in like two or three of his last little bit of his last recent fights. I just don't think Reyes is trustworthy until proven different. Jacoby also isn't trustworthy, but I don't really worry too much. Reyes hasn't really shown much of a threat um, as of late. So unless Reyes has made a bunch of improvements and changed his whole game, found his old swagger back, I'm gonna go with Jacoby here, finding a TKO win or a decision win. I just feel like Jacoby is the more experienced, better striker, knows how to clinch, push you against the cage, win some minutes on the cage. Definitely a tricky fight to call just because of the chalk and Jacoby, you know, making it life or death with Alonzo Menifield when he should have won that fight. But he just, lets fights get away from him. So with a long rangey guy like Reyes, it could get interesting. But I think the style fight favors Jacoby. When he fights guys, tall, rangy, he usually does pretty well. So I got to go Jacoby here winning this fight. Yeah. I don't know about parlaying him. I just have a rule now with Jacoby about parlaying him. He's just so volatile to parlay, but I definitely understand why people would. I don't like the spot for it, especially a comeback spot after taking time away from the injuries he's had from Yuri and getting KO'd. It's just, I don't trust Reyes, and I think Jacoby is going to be uh, on the hunt, especially after that last performance. So we'll see how it plays out. Moving on, we are our last fight of the night. We got Jared Cannonier versus Nasruddin Imavov. I like Imavov, but I'm torn here with this fight. I haven't made a final decision yet. We have Jared Cannonier, someone who I think taken a decent amount of time off. Last fought against Marvin Vittori, and that fight you know, he got pretty screwed up early by Marvin, got hurt, and then he just pieced him apart, beat the crap out of him, put out our strike record. The thing about Imavov is he's long and rangy, and the guys that beat or have success against Cannonier are long rangy guys. Strickland had success, should have won. Adesanya had success. Whitaker's not long, but he fights long. Um, Anderson Silva, yeah, I get he was old. Jan Blachowicz, Dominic Reyes. Like I honestly, Dominic Reyes is a perfect example of long guys that could cause problems. I think Imavov is, orthodox, so that won't be as big of a problem. But I think Imavov's, boxing is very sharp, very accurate, and I think he can hurt Jared Cannonier. Potentially finding the TKO. I don't think he will, but I'm gonna go with Imavov, but it's a close fight, and honestly, I don't want anything to do with this one. I think has a little bit of a cardio issue. He won't like death gas, but he'll like slow down and give rounds away because he's tired. So I don't want to like get married to a side here. I just think this is a close fight. I think Jared Cannonier is a you know he's on some great formula at the MMA lab, and I think they got him right at his old age. So we'll see how this fight plays out. I got to go with Imavov, but it's a very, very slight lean here. And yeah, man, I honestly, this is a weird card. So if I can give you guys my top five picks for the card, yeah, number one pick of the card would have to be Brad Katona. If he loses this fight, I don't know what to think. Obviously, I wouldn't bet this fight, but I think he's gonna win. Next fight is Taylor Lapilus. I think he wins this fight pretty easily by decision. We got Ferreira. I think Bruno Ferreira wins this fight by decision or TKO. I think Justin Jacoby wins this fight pretty handily. And I think Eduardo Moura wins this fight. But we'll see how this fight plays out. Honestly, I also have her tied with Prates and Amanda. So, alrighty, guys, make do with that what you will. Like, subscribe, you know the drill, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.